Hello friends, the topic for today is IEEE 802.15.4 Wireless Personal Area Network. This standard defines the physical layer and medium access control sublayer specifications for the low data rate wireless connectivity with fixed portable and moving devices with no battery or very limited battery consumption. The IEEE 802.15.4 physical and MAC layers are foundation for several networking protocol stacks. In this video, I will discuss the standard along with most well-known protocol stack based on this standard, then network topologies, architecture, and functional overview of this technology, which addresses a wide range of IoT use cases in both consumer and business markets. Let us start with the introduction. A low-rate wireless personal area network is a simple low-cost communication network that allows wireless connectivity in applications with limited power and relaxed throughput requirements. The main objective of low-rate wireless personal area network are ease of installation, reliable data transfer, extremely low cost and a reasonable battery life while maintaining a simple and flexible protocol. This standard IEEE 802.15.4 defines the physical layer and medium access control sublayer specifications for low data rate wireless connectivity with fixed portable and moving devices with no battery or very limited battery consumption requirement. In addition, the standard provides modes that allow for precision ranging. Physical layers are defined for devices operating various license-free bands in a variety of geographic regions. In addition to being low cost and offering a reasonable battery life, this access technology enables easy installation using compact protocol stack while remaining both simple and flexible. Several network communication stacks, including deterministic one and profiles, leverage this technology to address a wide range of IoT use cases in both the consumer and business market. IEEE 802.15.4 is commonly found in the following types of deployment: home and building automation, automotive networks, industrial wireless sensor networks, interactive toys and remote controls. Then let us go to the standardization and alliances. IEEE 802.15.4 or IEEE 802.15 Task Group 4 defines low data rate physical and MAC layers specifications for wireless personal area network, that is WPAN. This standard has evolved over the years and is well-known solution for low complexity wireless devices with low data rates that need many months or even years of battery life. Since 2003, the IEEE has published several iterations of the IEEE 802.15.4 specification, each labeled with the publication's year. For example, IEEE 802.15.4-2003 was published in 2003, 802.15.4-2006 was released in 2006, and 802.15.4-2011 and 802.15.4 2015 was issued in 2011 and 2015 respectively. Newer releases typically supersedes older ones, integrate addendums and adds feature or clarification to previous versions. The IEEE 802.15.4 PHY, that is physical layer, and MAC, that is MAC layers, are the foundation for several networking protocol stacks. These protocol stacks make use of 802.15.4 at the physical and link layer levels, but the upper layers are different. Some of the most well-known protocol stack based on the 802.15.4 are highlighted in the table. So here we have the protocol and the description. The first is ZigBee. Promoted through the ZigBee Alliance, ZigBee defines upper layer components as well as application profiles. Common profiles include building automation, home automation, and healthcare. Then second is 6 yellow WPAN. That is 6 yellow WPAN is an IPv6 adoption layer defined by the IETF 6 yellow WPAN working group that describes how to transport IPv6 packets over IEEE 802.15.4 layers. RFC documents header compression and IPv6 enhancement to cope up with the specific details of IEEE 802.15.4. Then next we have the ISA 100.11a. Now this is developed by the International Society of Automation ISA as a wireless system for industrial automation, process control and related applications. It is based on IEEE 802.15.4 2006 and specifications were published in 2010 and then as IEC 62734. The network and transport layers are based on the IETF 6 yellow WPAN, IPv6 and UDP standards. Then the last is wireless HART. Wireless HART, promoted by the Hard Communication Foundation, is a protocol stack that offers a time synchronized, self-organizing and self-healing mesh architecture leveraging IEEE 802.15.4 2006 over the 2.4 GHz frequency band. Then let us go to the device types. Two different device types can participate in an IEEE 802.15.4 network. A full function device FFD and a reduced function device RFD. An FFD device is a device that is capable of serving as a personal area network coordinator, PAN coordinator or common node. Coordinator of a PAN may use a superframe structure. A superframe is bounded by the transmission of beacon frames and may have an active portion and an inactive portion. Coordinator may enter a low power, that is the sleep mode, during the inactive portion. We'll see the details after some time. Then a reduced function device RFD is a device that is not capable of serving as either a PAN coordinator or a simple coordinator. An RFD is intended for applications that are extremely simple, such as light switch or a passive infrared sensor. It does not have the need to send a large amounts of data and only associates with a single FFD at a time. Consequently, the RFD can be implemented using minimal resources and memory capacity. Then let us go to the network topology. Depending on the application requirements, an IEEE 802.15.4 low rate WPAN operates in either of the two topologies, the star topology and the peer-to-peer topology. Now, these both are shown in the figure. Here you can see the star topology and peer-to-peer topology. In star topology, the communication is established between the device and a single central controller called the PAN coordinator. Device typically has some associated application and is either the initiation point or the termination point for network communication. The PAN coordinator is the primary controller of the PAN. All devices operating on a network of either topology have unique addresses referred to as extended addresses. In addition, a device can be assigned a short address during the association process. A device will use either the extended address or the short address for communication within the PAN, that is personal area network. The transmission of the extended and short addresses fields is optional for the reduced function device transmitter device. The PAN coordinator will often be mains powered while the devices will likely be battery powered. Applications that benefit from star topology include home automation, personal computer peripherals, games and personal healthcare. Then let us go to the architecture. The IEEE 802.15.4 architecture is defined in terms of a number of blocks in order to simplify the standard. These blocks are called layers. Each layer is responsible for one part of the standard and offers services to the higher layers. The interfaces between the layers serve to define the logical links that are described in the standard. An LRWPAN device comprises at least one PHY, that is the physical layer, which contains radio frequency transceiver with its low level control mechanism and a MAC sub layer that provides access to the physical channel for all types of transfer. Figure shows these blocks in a graphical representation. So here we have the physical medium and then the physical layer and the MAC sub layer and the next higher layers. The next higher layers shown in the figure consists of network layer, which provides network configuration manipulations, and message routing, and an application layer which provides the independent function of the device. Then let us go to the physical layer, PHY. The features of PHY are activation and deactivation of the radio transceiver, energy detection, link quality indication, channel selection, CCA ranging, and transmitting as well as receiving packets across the physical media. It operates on one of the three possible unlicensed frequency bands. First is 868.0 to 868.6 MHz, allows one communication channel. Then next is 902 to 928 MHz, North America. It allows up to 10 channels and it was extended to 30 in 2006. Then the last band is 2400 to 2483.5 MHz. It is for the worldwide use, up to 16 channels. Then let us go to the MAC sublayer. The MAC sublayer provides two services, the MAC data service and the MAC management service, interfacing to the MAC sublayer management entity service access point, SAP. So that's why it is known as the MLME-SAP. The MAC data service enables the transmission and reception of MAC protocol data units, that is MPDUs, across the physical data service. The features of MAC sublayer are beacon management, channel access, GTS management, frame validation, acknowledgement, frame delivery, association and disassociation. In addition, the MAC sublayer provides hook for implementing application appropriate security mechanism. Then let us go to the functional overview. First is data transfer. Frames are the basic unit of data transfer, of which there are four fundamental types: data, acknowledgement, beacon and MAC command frame. Additionally, a super frame structure defined by the coordinator may be used, in which case two beacons act as its limits and provide synchronization to other devices as well as a configuration information. Then let us go to the beacon superframe. The format of the superframe is defined by the coordinator. The superframe is bounded by beacons sent by the coordinator as illustrated in figure A. Optionally, the superframe can have an active and inactive portion as illustrated in figure B. Here you can see the superframe without inactive period in figure A. So these are the beacons and this is the active period. There is no inactive period in this case. Then in figure B, we have superframe with inactive period. So again we have the beacons. These are the beacons and there is an active period and an inactive period. During the inactive period, the coordinator is able to enter a low power mode. The beacon frame transmission starts at the beginning of the first slot of each superframe. If the coordinator does not wish to use the superframe structure, it will turn off the beacon transmission. The beacons are used to synchronize the attached devices, to identify the personal area network, and to describe the structure of the superframes. Any device wishing to communicate during the contention access period, that is CAP, between the two beacons competes with other devices using a slotted CSMA CA or Aloha mechanism as appropriate. For low latency applications or applications requiring specific data bandwidth, the personal area network coordinator dedicates portion of the active superframe to that application. These portions are called as guaranteed time slots, that is the GTS. The GTS forms the contention free period, that is CFP, which always appears at the end of active superframe, starting at the slot boundary immediately following the CAP as shown in figure. Here you can see we have the beacons and then this is the CAP, that is contention access period, and then we have the contention free period. The PAN coordinator allocates up to 7 of these GTS and GTS is allowed to occupy more than one slot period. However, a sufficient portion of the cap remains for contention based access of either network devices or new devices wishing them to join the network. All contention based transitions are completed before the contention free period begins. Also, each device transmitting in GTS, that is guaranteed time slots, ensure that its transition is complete before the time of the next GTS or the end of the CFP, that is the contention free period. So with this we come to the end of this video. If you like the video, press the like button, share with your friends and subscribe to our channel Engineering and Technology for You. And don't forget to press the bell icon so that you get notifications for our future videos on this topic. Then thanks for watching. Have a nice day.